Hello everyone, Robert Rambles here, and welcome back to WoW Classic Vanilla and our Hardcore Priest playthrough. Thank you guys very much for joining me today and for clicking on the video. I hope you are all doing well. We are picking up back in Stonetalon where we left off. We're going to head to the east. We have some spiders to fight, deep moss creepers. We are going to try to escort the Lady Tauren from her captivity back to her father. And yeah, then we have some stuff to turn in. And then probably a little bit more to do here. However, we could go up to the Zoram Strand today and we could work on the Naga Kill quest. That could be something to get us going. Into Ashenvale. I'm not sure how much we're going to do in Ashenvale. A lot of it is going to be better when we're anywhere from level 23 to 27. And we have to start thinking about going into Hillsbrad pretty soon, at least to get the flight point and turn in the initial breadcrumb quest. We also have this back here, the Boulder Slide Ravine that I want to do. I'm just not sure, looking at the map, how we would get back to that. Maybe there will be something obvious on the mini-map once we're a little bit closer. It would probably be a good idea to get my buffs up now, before we get into any combat. Alright, so here we go. Deep moss creepers. A thing that I have been learning while doing the Rogue and the Priest at the same time is that it really does feel like hard, even though it's cool to have an Alliance playthrough and a Horde playthrough going at the same time. I really like that, and it's something that I've done on the channel. I've done it on the channel in the past. There have been times where we have focused one character. We focused the Tauren Warrior for a long time, like all the way through Burning Crusade, and that was without any experience buffs. We focused the Paladin through the Fresh Start. So sometimes we focus stuff, but historically I try to keep a playthrough of the Alliance and a playthrough of the Horde going. Just because, you know, people like different flavors of Azeroth, and I definitely do. But when it comes to hardcore, it really does feel like the experience is better served when you're focusing on one character at a time. So that is a lesson that I am going to take forward into the future. I think where that could be different is probably once you get a character to like really high levels, right? Once you get a character into the 40s and 50s, I don't think that I would want to play that character for more than an hour a day, because what I have found about when I die is that I usually die in my second sitting of the day. That's when most of my characters die. I do one sitting, I record an episode, and then I record another episode that same day on that same character, and then that is usually the second sitting that I do where I get killed. And I always wonder, I always think back and I say, if I had only done one recording that day on that character, would things have worked out differently when I eventually went to do that quest? So, yeah, there's that. That's what I've been thinking about. And that being said, you know, if I'm focusing on one character at a time, sometimes I don't know how much hardcore content is too much hardcore content. I kind of like putting up just an hour or so a day of the journey and having it be kind of a leisurely stroll. We're not rushing to anything. And the point is really just to live, and you usually tend to live when you move a bit more slowly. It becomes easier to survive dangerous situations. Alright, that's all that we need. Oh, no, it's not. I'm tabbing over the wrong guys. Yeah, we have 7 out of 7 of the Venom Spitters already. We need 2 more of the Creepers. 2 more of the Melee Spiders. Well, I mean, you guys see the message. Our inventory is full. We don't need this milk. What I have been thinking up is eventually starting a duo hardcore series. I think playing in a duo offers a lot of really interesting benefits. I'm curious to be able to trade gear back and forth from professions. I think that could make characters in a duo obviously a lot more powerful than a solo character might be. And then I like the possible class combinations. What I wonder though is, like, obviously a duo makes the hardcore challenge a lot easier. It almost feels like that there should be some sort of modifiers to increase the difficulty. You know what I mean? And if it were like a single player game where you had some control over like the settings, you would probably have something like that where, you know, because you're grouped together, it would slightly scale up all of the enemies. That would be really interesting, because I do feel like it's just going to be... I don't want to say really easy. You know what I mean? Because if either person dies, then it's over for both, so everybody has to live. I don't know, it does feel like it would be really easy, let me be honest. It feels like it might be really easy if you have 2 players that are pretty competent and able to communicate to each other efficiently. And who kind of, you'd have to kind of play with somebody who plays it in a similar way. And you guys kind of see how I play. I'm a little bit all over the place. Sometimes I go really slow, sometimes I can get a little impatient and try to be more efficient. I vary a little bit, but usually I'm going slowly. Usually I'm going slowly. Doing a duo run, I probably wouldn't be reading the quests. That would just be like taking up time of another human being's life. I think that would be a playthrough more focused on just the gameplay and the experience, and what kind of trouble you can get into in a duo that you can't get into as a single. Things like taking on elite villages would be a possibility if you have like a warrior or a paladin or a shaman and a druid. Classes with a little bit of healing and good attack power, I feel like you could take on those elite towns. And that would be a really cool experience. Obviously that also is making the game easier, right? Because suddenly all this content that you just didn't have access to, you now have access to. If you're slow and considerate, right? It'd probably be easier to do three-man elite villages, but you could do it with 2. Especially things like this poster here. We could probably go kill this elite with 2 of us, right? It probably wouldn't even matter what class, just to kill 1 elite. And then I guess the difficulty of it that was pointed out to me is that you're getting less kill experience because you're splitting everything. So you would definitely have to do zone hopping to compensate the split experience. You could say the answer to that is just kill twice as much. Kill lots of things. Just be a moving group of deforestation and depopulation as you travel through zones, getting all the kill experience. Okay, looking at this, I guess it must be this path here that's going to take us there? I'm just not really sure how we're getting back there. Let's try this. I don't I don't feel like this is really close to the objective, but oh no, it says Boulder Slide Ravine, so that's the name of the place we were looking for. I guess the ravine does go quite a ways back, doesn't it? We open the map up here. Okay, it makes more sense now that we're able to see the map. I think we did this quest one time. I vaguely remember that there's like a floating crystal at the back of a cave, right? Spoilers. Spoilers. Floating crystal at the back of a cave. Yep. That is about as spoilery as it gets for classic vanilla. Okay. Okay, this is a really interesting little area. But you almost think that you're not going to be able to get through. But then you can. So anyway, when we were talking about, you know, the kind of some of the challenges of running two hardcore characters at the same time, I've also been thinking, like, what else do I want to do on the channel besides inundate you guys with a ton of hardcore playthroughs? What else do you guys want to see? Are we ready to get a Horde character through Northrend? Or do we want to take a fresh Horde character up through Northrend? Do we want to pick up the Draenei Shaman that we had fishing and cooking going? We have some options on like other stuff we could do on the channel. If you guys are interested or you have ideas, let me know. I have time. It wouldn't even mean less hardcore. It just... Ooh, this is going to be fun. It just means that I have some time, and I don't think that time should be for more hardcore. I think the amount of hardcore we have going is probably sufficient for everybody. Let's do something here. We're just getting blasted. Let's do that, and figure this out in a second. Definitely moving out of that. I feel like if there was ever a time to run away, this is probably it. Yeah, I just don't think this is a winning fight here. This just isn't... It's not working out well for me. I'm gonna retreat. That seems like the responsible thing to do. Now we can go back and try again. But yeah, so the only characters I probably won't pick up, and then I'll explain a couple things. So, one interesting thing, and I don't know if maybe any of you guys still play on Maladath, which was our Fresh Start server. Remember when they launched Wrath of the Lich King and they had this cool idea for Fresh Start Realms and people were going to be super excited about it and it was going to be a great place to live in Wrath forever? Yeah, I logged on in the afternoon to our max level Paladin. Because I do have a max level character, but I know some of you guys don't believe that, but I do. And upon logging on to the Paladin, I did a /who while standing in Dalaran at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I was one of 2 people online at max level on the Alliance standing in Dalaran. In the server listing, Maladath is now marked as a low population server. A low population, not a mid population, not a high population. A low population. 2 people were in Dalaran. And I think I think they were like level 78. I think I was the only 80. I then... Ooh. Nice. Oh, that's really nice. I then went into looking for group. I queued up for any heroic dungeon. Any heroic dungeon. I was the only person in the queue at 4 o'clock in the afternoon for heroic dungeon content. Maladath is well and truly dead as far as normal play of the game, in my opinion. So we won't be picking up the Paladin, which is kind of hard for me to say because I kind of thought it was a character that I would return to. And now the only way that I can ever return to it really is to pay Blizzard to transfer that character over to Pagel. Because on Pagel at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there are plenty of people doing heroics. There were plenty of people doing Burning Crusade dungeons. I logged into our level 66 rogue. And there was a long list of players doing regular Burning Crusade dungeons. I could have gotten into any run I wanted. And that is the difference between a high population server And Maladath, a low population server. Yeah, Maladath, you can't play on it. There's no one to play with, no one's there, no one's online, they're not doing any content. And yeah, it's sad. We didn't make any steps to clean out our inventory. I'm just in rare form today, aren't I? Still not getting lots of sleep. It's no one's fault but my own at this point. So yeah, I'm just kind of in a weird spot with Wrath, you know. At this point I kind of acknowledge that unless I one day form my own guild of people that I've played with and come to know, and unless that happens, I'm probably not going to be doing any raiding content as much as I want to. What I don't want to do is join a guild where everyone already knows each other and I'm the person coming in from the outside. I'd rather, at that point, just kind of try to put together my own thing, but I'm not ready to do that right now, anytime soon. But that was just my thoughts, is like, yeah, I'm not in a big hurry. I don't really have any burning desire to grind endgame loot in Wrath, so... What I realize is, like, my impetus for raiding was always kind of like, you know how, like, you have a bowling league you go to, or maybe you're on a softball team, or, you know, like, you know, just some kind of sport, basically. I mean, it was always a replacement for me, like, for, like, a social sport-ish activity where you get together with your friends, people you know, you hang out, you do an activity that you love, you have a great time for a few hours. And that's what it was fun for. I didn't really ever care about the gear, progressing my character, getting the best in slots. Hell, most of the time, I didn't even know my best in slots. I was just there to play and hang out and do what I loved. And what I realized is without having a group of people that I want to do that with, I don't have a desire to raid. I don't care about that progression. I care about the fun of the content and the people that I'm hanging out with. So if I'm not hanging out with anybody, if I'm just doing a pug or I'm in a random guild, I don't care to raid just to get the gear or just to get the achievements. I want to be doing it because I'm doing it with people that I enjoy hanging out with and having a good time with. So until that manifests or I have the social effort to organize a guild, probably won't be doing any raiding. However, it would be nice to get a Horde character through Northrend and see the story and all that good stuff like we got to do on the Alliance side. Even though our Alliance character is now basically dead. I could transfer it. It's just the principle of the thing. It's the principle of the thing. Blizzard, I remember them saying that the realms would always be viable, that even if it were low population, that was still a big population compared to the size of servers back in original launch. You know, they fed us their usual line of bullshit to get us to do the fresh start, and we boosted the hell out of those user counts for the month, you know, those monthly active users. We gave them a little boost, didn't we? And that was about as long as that lasted, but it got the job done from their perspective, and a bunch of people probably had to transfer their characters off to Mankrik or Pagel in order to actually play them. You know, people who actually wanted to raid are definitely not doing it on Maladath. You know, some people are. I say that, and someone's going to say, oh, I raid on Maladath every Wednesday and Friday. It's great. There are obviously people who probably raid. But at 4 in the afternoon, there was no one doing heroics, and there was only me and one other person standing in Dalaran. That's a dead server, period. It's a dead server. And that was what they told us was not going to happen. And I haven't seen them offer free transfers off of it yet. So it's an interesting situation. Obviously, if we go back and do something in Wrath, we are going to be playing on Mankrik if we're Horde and Pagel if we're Alliance. Because those are the only real servers to play on where I'm at, because those are the mega servers for Horde and Alliance. I saw that in the next patch for retail, cross-faction guilds are finally going to be in the game. In retail, you will be able to have a cross-faction guild, where you just have your friends in your guild regardless of what race they'd like to play. which I think is really cool and makes a lot of sense. And it makes sense within the lore as well, since the Horde and the Alliance have a long history of specifically helping each other out in specific circumstances. And I honestly think that cross-faction guilds should be in Classic as well. You know, they identify that there's a problem. The problem is, like, server imbalance. And you can fix that by having cross-faction guilds. How does it work for PvP? I don't care. I really don't care about PvP. So, there you go. You know, I think we have to get to the back of this cave, don't we? It wants us to go all the way back. Apparently the respawn rate is kicking out. Can we go this way, or is this kind of a dead end here that we can't jump up? Is there a way to cheese this? It doesn't seem like it. I'd love to just get up that way. Well, strap in, I guess. We're going to be killing a lot more kobolds. You know, the alternative is instead of playing Wrath, we could play something else. We could play something else completely instead of playing any Wrath if we don't want to play Wrath. If you guys are not interested in a Wrath playthrough, then that's not something I have to do right now. We probably have at least one more year of Wrath being a thing, so I'd like to do a shaman at some point. Get a shaman to max. Maybe that would be my Horde character if I was gonna do a new Wrath playthrough. It'd probably be a shaman. Could do an orc shaman. We could just go back to the Alliance shaman, but I kind of want to see the Horde story through Northrend because we haven't yet. I just, you know, should have taken care of my inventory, but. I think we're almost to the end of this cave, and then, yeah, I don't want to hearth out just because we have other stuff to turn in. We will have to run out. It's probably going to be a bit of fighting to get us out of here. The great thing about having to fight a million guys is that we have basically infinite mana the way we're playing. I'm gonna have to start leaving some stuff on the ground. We could make a stop at the troll village. I believe that there was at least one vendor there. Definitely worth investigating as we head out to turn the other quest in and do the escort. Alright, we got the completion here. Let's try to get out of here. I might just bubble run this. Should I bubble run this? Probably not. I probably shouldn't do that. I recant the statement. I'm not going to bubble run it. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in our path. That's definitely enough guys to stun us, kill us, and make us really, really sad. Inventory's so full, that's already making me sad. We're about to pull these 2 guys. Oh, look at that. Because we were higher level, we did not pull either of them accidentally. Guys, what other games are out there where we can have a nice, relaxing, immersive time exploring a big open world? Don't say Final Fantasy XIV. Don't say Elder Scrolls Online. Not because that's not true of those games, but because I already understand. I already understand, and I've already given both of those games multiple goes. I would love to be able to live long enough to do a Final Fantasy XIV playthrough, but I don't know. It would be too much of an undertaking, I think, and I don't think there are enough people who give an F, because the people who really care about the Final Fantasy story have played it, because that's how you best experience a Final Fantasy story, and 14 in particular is an amazing story that you absolutely should just experience for yourself. Yeah, and the experience is much, much smoother and more streamlined than what it used to be a few years ago, so it's actually like a really good time to get in and have that experience. I just don't think it's something that I could do on the channel. I wish I could. I wish there was an audience for it that wanted to sit here and watch me play any Final Fantasy games. I'll go back and I'll play the original Final Fantasy VII and then we'll do the remake if there was an audience for that kind of thing. The original games I played that I grew up playing were all mostly JRPGs back on like the SNES and then the PlayStation 1. Those were the games that really got me into games. Obviously, like, I played other games when I was a kid, but as far as becoming a serious gamer, it was Final Fantasies and other JRPGs that really hooked me in. I just loved the stories, the characters, the worlds were always so rich and interesting. Just stand in the fire, let our bubble tank it, I guess. I like that it stops when they die, at least. Oh, jeez, they just... Oh, man, they piled these guys in here. We'll give them one of these. Of course, they all run with us. That's like the worst fear scenario, is that they run with you. And then when they break fear, they're right there with you. Yeah, at this point we are definitely just running. Here we go again. I like how they're faster so they actually get ahead of us. They're waiting for us when we get there. See? Alright, let's head over to the troll village and see about selling some stuff. And then we can try to go help Kea. But yeah, I think immediate vendoring is in order, and we have a quest to turn in down here anyway. I really wish the devs of Outward hadn't stopped working on stuff for that game. I really liked Outward. I didn't really care for the second expansion where you were building the town. I thought that was a little bit, not really what I wanted to do in the game, but the base game and the first expansion were really amazing. Amazing experiences.
Be seeing ya.
I wish they hadn't, you know, because when they stopped supporting it, like, people stopped caring about it, right? Otherwise, I would definitely be down for an Outward run. Outward, if you've never seen Outward or you don't know anything about Outward, and you like open world games with that sense of exploration and the unknown, Outward's a little bit janky, but it scratches all those itches. It's janky in a good way, as far as, like, the combat. Oh. I equipped this thinking it was a staff, because it looked like a staff. It's not a staff. It is a held and offhand item. Oh. I know you guys already knew that. I'm glad that I realized it. We're gonna hang on to this, though, because if we get a main hand, then that's amazing. That's intellect and spirit on the offhand. If we get a main hand, then we'd have even more stats. That would be great. Okay, I think that's all we can do here. We've got our turned in. Let's go see if our escort quest is up or not. Like, one of my biggest problems with the 3 of the big MMOs that are out, you know, Guild Wars 2, Elder Scrolls Online, to an extent, Final Fantasy. My biggest problem is, honestly, the leveling experience is too easy. The leveling experience of the combat's too easy. I don't learn anything about how to play the game, because there's so much time where, like, the things that you do don't really matter. It's hard to explain it. And by saying it's too easy, I'm grossly oversimplifying what it's like. Whereas, if I'm learning a new game, I want to be playing it at the hardest it ever was for anybody. I don't want to be playing a nerfed version of an old game that's been changed over time by systems and rescaling and class changes and system changes and combat changes. And the thing I hate the most is when people are like, hey, level 80, it all changes. It becomes a whole new game. I'm like, oh, great. So what if I love the game I'm playing for the fucking 50-hour leveling experience, and then it becomes a whole new game that I hate at max level? You know, so that's one way it could go. The other way it goes is that I'm really bored for 50 or 60, however long it takes to get to max level, and then it becomes a game that I might enjoy. Like, I don't really like that either as just game design. I want the combat to be difficult the whole time in. I want it to be as difficult as it's gonna be scaled properly. You know what I mean? I guess I would want the vanilla experience of those games. And you don't get to have that anymore. You don't ever get to have the vanilla Guild Wars 2 experience. You can't have the vanilla ESO experience. You're going to play with the new systems, the new content, all the reworks, etc. And I'm not really into that. That's why, like, I just haven't gotten big into any other MMOs.
Greetings, traveler. May the eternal sun shine upon you.
So those are kind of off the table for right now. When I'm talking about finding something else to play, I am definitely talking about something single player or just not an MMO. I've been playing lots of different games recently, learning things about games I like and don't like. I'm not much of a survival craft guy. I really enjoyed the time I put into Valheim. But I just, as much as I enjoy the concept of games like that, I just don't think I'm good at them. And they are also missing something for me. I don't know what it is that they're missing. Games like No Man's Sky and Valheim, it might just be the emptiness of the worlds. Whereas I'm used to having like a constructed world full of NPCs that are doing stuff and towns and villages and things like that going on. Let's maybe like take one of these guys off of her. She almost died. Pretty sure she almost died. She could probably just die.
Well met.
That'd be sad. Let's go ahead and give her a heal just in case anything stupid happens. There we go, that worked. But yeah, any single player, open world, exploration based RPG or adventure games you guys can think about on the PC that might be worth checking out, let me know. I'm kind of at a point where I'm definitely down to try new things. And the biggest reason for that is I have no desire to play WoW retail anymore, I don't think. You guys probably have noticed that it's been a long time since we've had a Dragonflight video, and that anytime I talk about Dragonflight, it's not really in a positive way. Anytime I talk about Blizzard, it's not in a positive way. And that kind of wears on you after a while when you're only playing their games. When I think about what we're doing here in hardcore, I think this is like a community experiment for me. So I can play here in hardcore and it removes me from really having to think about Blizzard. It removes me from having to think about all their bullshit that they've had going on the past few years. I say the past few years, we've only known about their BS for the past few years. It's been going on always, right? It's probably been much worse in the past when it was easier to hide that kind of behavior. And just the general incompetence of all of the higher-ups that they employ. Everybody who like, Mike Ybarra is now like, just become like he's a complete asshat, right? It turns out he's not one of you. It turns out he's an asshat. And not a very good leader of humans. So yeah, being here in vanilla, like on this server specifically, doing this hardcore challenge, it helps me not feel as much like I'm supporting that. But it does get hard to keep playing a game that you don't see the developers, the company support. You know what I mean? Like, I really need them to start showing Classic some love. Just, they got all these grand plans for retail. You know, they've made all these new systems that they're really jazzed about, and people who love retail seem generally happy with the state of the game itself, which is great for them. I don't find much joy in retail. Beautiful art, amazing art, okay stories, no immersion, no feeling of actually being in a world and having it be a big world that you're in. Everyone's hitting me now, which is what I want, but I also want to live. So there's that. Kaya got that one all by herself. You get him, Kaya. You get that one too, girl. You go. You get him. Look at that, man. What a boss. That was awesome because we almost bit it there a couple of times. So I appreciate the help. How's she doing? She's back to full health. She's got more passive regen than we do. There we go. She is on her way back on her own, which means we can head out. And we can get this stuff turned in. I really do feel like we could find another place, guys, to go on these immersive adventures together. And it doesn't mean we'll probably always be playing Classic in one way or another. But I am done with retail for now. I don't think that I'll go back. Sometimes it's really just time to move on, and ultimately it doesn't have to be a big deal. That's why I haven't talked about it until now. Tried to look at like upcoming games, but didn't really see anything super interesting. I mean, I guess like the next big games we're waiting on what? Like Starfield? As far as like big open world RPG? Starfield, Dragon Age 4, you know, games that might never come out. Games that might never actually come out.
Well met.
Killed Grundig, protected Kaya. Kaya's alive. That's a breadcrumb back to Sunrock.
Loktar, strength.
The spirits of Stonetalon are still PO'd. She fears we may never soothe them.
Go with honor.
Go after some shredder machines. Okay, so from here, we gotta get this stuff turned in over in Ratchet. We have Egg Hunt we can grab now. That's actually at level.
Strength and honor.
Well, let's get back to some good habits first and just check our inventory really quick. So, I wanted to do some tailoring, but I just haven't been by a trade goods vendor, so whenever we get to a trade goods vendor, maybe over in Ratchet's. Is this trying to mark a quest turn-in? Yeah, sometimes Questie's being weird. I guess it's because I'm not telling Questie to show anything on the minimap, so sometimes it doesn't show the icons. It'll just give me the in-game yellow dot, I guess. I do need to formalize, and stop messing with my Questie options and kind of get that cemented. Bagnon, I probably want to get Bagnon going. Would make my life a lot easier. Earthen Arise. You've uncovered a dark threat to the land priest. The resonite cask you have found in the cave houses a slumbering earthen by the name of Gogorok. I have changed the mixture of the resonite crystal that you gathered with my shamanistic powers. Take the enchanted resonite crystal and smash open the resonite cask which houses the earthen. When awakened, Gogorok will be weakened. Slay him.
Walk with the earth.
Where are we doing that? Oh, we have to do that back at the back of the cave. Oh, that's an elite quest. So we won't be doing that. It sounds really cool, but yeah. Kaya's alive we can turn in really quick before we jump on the flight point. This is a Thunderbluff breadcrumb that I should get done at some point. Sputter Valve goes to Ratchet. Angry Scythe Claws. Okay.
expecting you.
May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
Zabari the Mage dead at level 11. Rip, brother. Roll again. I really wish we were in one of the linked guilds. I liked seeing the pop-ups. We're in the Souls of Steel. I feel bad for leaving. It's probably stupid. What I worry about most, awkwardly, is I worry that I leave and then I ask for an invite to the hardcore guild and they invite me right back. How awkward would that be? That's the kind of stuff that I actually worry about. And please feel free to psychoanalyze that in the comments below. As if I already haven't, you know? Some of you guys have wanted a puppy picture, so I'm thinking I'm going to drop one in the Discord, actually. My blue healer's actually gotten really good now at playing with Goomba. Goomba's the new puppy. Even though, you know, being a Jack Russell Terrier puppy who's about 8 weeks old at this point, he is the size of the blue healer's head. But they managed to play together. It's quite cute to watch a giant dog try to be like super gentle with a tiny dog. It's just free entertainment. We don't deserve dogs. When my power was out, that was like the best entertainment. I was just watching the dogs play. They had no idea the power was out. They didn't care. They were just happy being dogs, having all their toys and their beds and playing with each other. It's a good time for them. What I really had fun with recently, which was surprising, which was a game I was playing on the other channel, was Domekeeper. Had a lot of fun with Domekeeper. It has like a very addictive gameplay loop where you just kind of want to do another run, and then you want to do another run, and then you want to do another run. That was a lot of fun. And then I saw like a game called Vampire Survivor, which seems like kind of like an auto battler bullet stormy RPG roguelike thing. It looked pretty interesting. It looks like it gets really crazy at like higher levels, but it seems like it starts off tame enough and it's pretty interesting. It reminded me of Loop Hero. Loop Hero was another game that I played that I don't think I played it on the channel at all, but Loop Hero was a ton of fun. And I tend to really just have pure fun playing games like that, just because of their simplicity and getting going. It's easy to get going in them, and then the complexity layers on as you go, instead of like when you jump into a new MMO, for instance, you're bombarded with complexity right up front. You're throwing, all the systems are thrown right in your face. You have 7 years of systems, vocabulary and shit to catch up on, and you just aren't going to do it. You gotta watch 17 hours of videos first to know what you're doing and how to do things properly.
Hey, how
It's
you doing?
not worth it to me. But games like Domekeeper, games like Vampire Survivor,
Have a good one.
and games like Loop Hero, you learn them as you go, and they start off simple. But then the complexity builds. And I like that. And that's what classic WoW is like. It starts off simple, but then look at all the abilities we have. The complexity builds.
Talk to me.
And that's progression. It's good progression when complexity builds over time. I don't think we're doing either of these.
Glad I could help.
And yeah, I just have to decide what we're going to do next on this character. We should probably get the Angry Scythe Claws done. I see that Questie is back to tracking everything for me instead of doing what I wanted to do. which is to hide the icons of untracked quests. That would be cool. There we go. I just needed a little refresh. It gets confused. I think it's still... Oh, I see. It's because we can get the feathers from any raptors. So it's marking them all over the zone. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Guys, we're going to take a break here for today. I feel like that's best. I feel like that's best. We're pretty close to 23. No talent points to spend or anything like that. Can we find a trade goods vendor maybe? Maybe we do that. You are just a human who we can kill. I don't know why. What about here? General supplies and trade supplies.
Potential customer.
That's what we needed. Let's take a look at our tailoring. Okay, so we want to make all of the bolts of wool and cloth that we can first. And then we definitely are going to make two more woolen bags for ourselves to equip immediately. And then we'll figure out how to most efficiently actually get skill ups, which we're no longer getting from bolts of woolen cloth. Oh, we can do it. We just need one more fine thread. There we go. Let's create both of those, and then we'll see what else we can do. There we go. We have all 8 slot bags now. That feels pretty good, actually. We can make linen capes if we got some more coarse thread. We could do that. Let's buy a stack, and we'll see how many of these we can actually get skill ups for. And guys, if you're not interested in the crafting, this is all we're going to be doing for the rest of the episode. So if you wanted to bail out now and use your time for something a little bit more productive, I would totally understand. Thank you for being here as long as you were. Alright, they're green now, so I'm not going to waste the mats making green stuff. Sell everything. Alright, what else can we do here? Linen, boots... Oh, I had leather too, man. I had some leather. I know I've been selling it. We can do this fine thread. Fine thread, okay. Let's buy a stack of fine thread. We could do 14 here with the simple kilt. Let's do that instead. Is that a vest? It's an interesting vest. Not really quite sure how it stays on. Oh, the capes. Were the capes cheaper? Oh, the capes are wool, and these are using linen. Okay. Perfect. So we can do 3 of these, and then we can do 5 of these. And then we need to find a tailoring trainer probably pretty soon, because I'm sure they have some new patterns for us to learn. Let's do all of these. And then we'll do a big sell. Alright, that will do for now. I am going to park it at the inn and take a break for today, guys. Thank you all so much for being here and for joining me on our priest journey. I am really loving the priest. I think the priest is going to go far. I dare say that after some of the situations we've gotten out of even today, that the priest will probably go all the way if we're careful. So I'm really interested in seeing that journey through. and I really appreciate you guys being here with me. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves out there in the real world, and take care of each other, and we will see you back here again very soon. Bye for now.